Hey everyone, it's Scott and welcome back. Today, we're going to ditch the stock suspension off the F-150 and we're going to replace it with this kit from our good friends over at Ridetech. Now this kit comes with everything that we need from front upper control arms, front coilovers, rear shocks, rear axle flip kit, traction bars, sway bars, all of the hardware that we need to make this installation a breeze. This kit allows us to lower the truck by up to 3 inches in the front and 5.5 inches in the rear, which is going to help improve handling and give us a really aggressive stance. This kit is 100% bolt-on and adjustable, so installation should be no problem. Let's go get started. As always guys, safety comes first. Always ensure that your vehicle is securely lifted and utilize the appropriate PPE to prevent any accidents or injuries when performing work under your vehicle. Now we're going to start with the front end first by removing all of the stock suspension components from the truck. We're going to start by separating the upper control arm ball joint, half shaft, and tie rod end from the upright assembly. We also went ahead and removed the fasteners holding the OEM strut assembly to the lower control arm at this step. Next, we'll remove the upper strut fasteners and remove the strut assembly from the vehicle. Now with the strut removed, we can remove the factory upper control arm from the vehicle, and we are ready to start assembling and installing the new Ridetech kit in the front of the truck. Now every Ridetech kit comes with step-by-step instructions, which makes this process really straightforward. Take your time, follow the instructions, and the installation will be no problem. Now the ordered assembly is essentially the reverse of disassembly. We install the new upper control arm, followed by the front coilover assembly. Once the upper control arm and the upper coilover mounting plates are secured in the truck, we'll install the lower coilover mount into the lower control arm. Next, we'll raise the lower control arm up and install the fastener connecting the coilover assembly to the lower control arms. Now we'll install the new upper control arm to the upright and torque that to specifications. Be sure to add grease to the upper control arm ball joint, install the dust cover, and reinstall the front half shaft and tire rod end to complete the install. Before moving on, make sure everything is tightened to the specifications provided by Ridetech in the kit instructions. All right, that's it for the front kit. The process is exactly the same over the driver's side, so let's go to the back of the truck so we can get started on installing that rear kit. With the vehicle secured in the air, we'll support the rear axle with an axle lift so we can manipulate the axle during disassembly and reassembly. We start by removing the factory shock absorbers, which will be replaced later by the new Ridetech shocks. With the axle secure, we'll remove the factory U-bolts and axle clamps and separate the axle from the leaf springs, lowering the axle just enough to remove the springs. Removing the spring hanger bolts and the springs from the vehicle will make sure we keep them separated as driver and passenger for reinstallation later on. Following the Ridetech instructions, we'll flip over the spring locating pins and install the shims as required and torque to specifications. The rear assembly starts with installing the new leaf spring bracket. These brackets have a D and a P stamped in them to indicate driver and passenger side. The hanger bracket is inserted into the OEM spring mount and fastened using the supplied hardware. Next, we'll install the leaf spring by inserting the front end of the spring in the new bracket. Make sure you confirm that the correct spring is installed on the correct side. Attaching the rear adjustable shackle to the spring, we raise the leaf spring into position and secure the shackle to the truck. With the leaf spring loosely in position, we'll start to install the flip kit following the instructions. It is important to note which spring design your truck has. Now our truck is equipped with the composite leaf spring. The instructions do differ between steel spring packs and the composite springs, so make sure you pay close attention to your setup. And there we have it. The leaf spring has been successfully flipped and all the fasteners have been tightened to the specifications. Next, we'll work on installing the new Ridetech shocks and traction bar kit. The shock assembly is straightforward. It's mounted in the OEM locations using the new supplied hardware, and all you have to do is tighten it to spec. In order to reduce wheel hop, we also installed the optional traction bar kit from Ridetech. We start by mounting the traction bar pivot mount to the axle housing using the supplied hardware. We then install the bar assembly into the traction bar pivot mount and then install the assembly into the axle mount. Once installed, we torque all the fasteners to the provided specifications, and we'll wait to adjust the length of the bars until the truck is assembled and on the ground. All right, that's going to do it for the suspension install for right now. Now we can't set the final ride height because the truck's just not quite ready to go yet. In order to do that, we need to have the truck at as near its final weight as possible so we can jounce the suspension, roll the truck around, tighten up all those fasteners, and then set that final ride height. So in order to keep moving, we're going to dig into this crate from Texas Speed and Performance in the next video. This has our new Gen 4 5.0 liter long block Coyote from Texas Speed. We cannot wait to get it in the truck as we work towards getting this thing fired up and getting this truck out on the streets later this summer. We'll see you next time.